Alrighty traders, so in today's video I want to do something a little bit different. I want to open up a bit more about my personal trading and my personal journey as a trader as well too, and why I truly believe that I really truly believe that millions of people are going to get destroyed from what's coming in the marketplace, and why I believe the number one skill you can use in the marketplace when you're dealing with the financial markets is your ability to be able to be a good trader in the markets. And so a bit of I'll start off with the big picture there. The big picture is that we all know that something really big is going to come down the road, right? We all really do know that. I truly believe there's going to be massive inflation again. There's going to be a recession, probably even we're talking with it over the next 10 years. We're going to experience recessions, probably even a depression. We're going to see more unemployment than we've ever seen before in the past. We're going to see massive debt defaults, restructuring, all that sort of stuff happening in America. We're going to see massive high interest rates, like we think interest rates are high right now. This is the big picture, right? But what does that even mean? If you think about that, right, it's if you know that everything's going to come to an end, you know that buy and hold with probably the S&P 500 is probably not a good idea. I know there's this whole thing about, Jordan Belfort. He came out and Jordan Belfort came out and did a book on the Holy Grail of investing, and Warren Buffett talks about this as well too, and Tony Robbins came out and did a video on this as well too. I just see so many people now talking about just buy and hold the S&P 500. Now that may be the case, but I truly believe that that now where we are right now, that maybe over the next 5 or so years, that maybe that's probably not going to be the best thing. And even real estate, right? Like I just see, like right now here in right here in Australia, here in real estate, here with real estate, I've seen so many people. I'm speaking to a lovely young lady at the gym that I know. Her name's Georgia. She's such a beautiful. She's one of the nicest people I ever know, actually. She's just one of the nicest people I actually know ever. She's so nice. And the really, the thing that, that she's buying a house as well too, and I'm seeing people buying second homes and all that sort of stuff right now. And I just see something really big happening even in the housing market, especially here in Australia where I am. I just see that there's something really big's coming down the road. Now, that's obviously the big picture there. Now, what I said at the start of this video, I'm going to talk more about why I do what I do, okay? When I first started trading 20 years ago, my only qualifications were laboring, right? It was like laboring and then that sort of stuff. And the really big thing about the thing that I wanted to do is that I never wanted to be a slave to the system, right? And I always, there's these laboring jobs, right? And it's like so hard, like, cause I actually grew up as a landscape gardener with my father. And so my whole focus from these markets wasn't, let me buy a piece of property and maybe in 10 years I can refinance it and make some money. I'm like, oh man, I want to quit my job this year so I don't have to work anymore. So that was always my focus, right? Always my focus. Like, so therefore long-term buy and hold was never my go. Now I know there's also a lot of risk to that, right? Because when you're trying to do some shorter term trading, it requires a higher level skill, right? Like for yourself. And that's the reason why guys, like the link in description, there's links in the description there, guys, where you can get access to my training, where I teach you my trading system. If you want to join my coaching program, that's what my program's all about, is teach you how to generate income this year so you don't have to work this year. That's what it's all about, okay? And so the big thing that my whole focus was, like, I didn't want to work for my father-in-law anymore, and when I did do all these other jobs out there, I just didn't want to do that. And the big thing is, so that basically was the big thing is that is that, yeah, that was my whole focus there. So my whole journey over the last 20 years, probably 90% of it, probably 99, probably maybe even 80% has been, how do I trade these markets for income? Like truly trade these markets for income. And boy, has it been a ride and a half. There's been so many times when I first started trading, guys, I did really well initially, and then I borrowed money from a friend. And then, unfortunately, I actually gave that money to someone else. He lost it, but then I was now on the hook for $250,000. I borrowed 200 grand from a friend, and then I personally guaranteed him back $50,000. So therefore, I personally was on the hook for $250,000, and I didn't have that money. I gave his money to someone else, and then that's how I became $250,000 in debt. And at that time, I was buying courses and doing this sort of stuff, and man, it's been a hard journey. It's definitely been a hard journey, just trying to really figure out the truth, right? Because for a while there, I for many years, right? Just like probably most of you guys, like I just didn't know, right? I didn't know what goes into like a really good trading system. I didn't know, like, how do I even really, like what's the truth about trading these markets? Like, what is the truth? And then we have our ego, and then our perceptions, and and then we trade based off news and what we think is going to happen. Well, if they're going to raise interest rates, it's going to cause a recession. Therefore, I'm going to short the markets now, and you go down this massive hill, don't you? It's like, and for 20 years, most of my time has been spent on, I want to trade the market so I can make money this year, right? So if I earn $50,000 at a job, I want to know, how do I actually make $50,000 trading the market so I don't have to work anymore? And then obviously then what you do, and what's happened to me, is then you start to go to how do I make $50,000 trading half an hour a day? How do I make six figures trading half an hour a day? And then now where I'm at, seven figures, where it's like, how do I make seven figures trading maybe half an hour or so per day? Right? That's actually trading. That's because that's my time frame. I only trade half an hour per day, which means now I look at the markets a lot more than that, outside the markets, but my actual trading time, where I'm looking to actively get in, get out, manage positions, it's only half an hour a day. That's all I do. And that's all I really need to do, really. Like probably an hour a day maximum, half an hour a day trading, and then maybe another half an hour or so just analyzing what may be coming up. But that's all I really need to do, because I have scans and so on and so forth. But on the back of that, I'm at that place now, because I know that literally 90% of the stuff out there is a complete waste of time when it comes to what to focus on. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly what I'm focusing on. I know exactly the watch list I'm building. I have the scans to help me, and from there. So, but for so many years, guys, it was like all these platforms out there, right? I believe that these platforms out there, these whiz-bang wave indicators and all these different, like there's thousands of different indicators you can choose from, right? And I always figured out, like, I was always trying to figure out that secret sauce, and how do I truly make this work? And, oh man, it was tough, right? It was tough, because I'm just like, I really wanted to make money from these markets. But then I had to but then slowly and surely I started to realize that there's a lot of things that goes into becoming a good trader. And I'm very, very, very fortunate that I've had two millionaire traders. And one of the best things I learned from my millionaire traders is that they had different styles of trading, but the foundations of what made them successful was, I started to realize, these are two mentors that make seven figures in the markets. Means they make more than $1 million a year. Okay. They have trading different methods, trading different styles, but the number one thing that I'm resonating with them is that they have their trading pattern, their trading set up in the markets, and they're willing to sit on their hands and wait as long as they have to. If it's a week, if it's a month, they're just willing to wait for it, and then they take those trades. And then throughout the entire year, if they can have that as their foundation, right? There might be many weeks, there might be a month where it's really active, lots of trades, and then there might be a few months where it's not many trades, right? But then I see their entire year, and the reason why the reason why my mentors did so well year after year after year is because they just had their really just one or just a handful of type of patterns that they look for, and then they trade those. And then on the back of that, they know that if they, and I always ask my mentors, like, why do you only trade this here? Why didn't you trade this other stuff? And they say, because I'm not confident about the other stuff. And both my mentors basically said that they know in the back of their mind that if they stick to these types of patterns only and be okay not taking a trade for a while, maybe a few days or maybe a few weeks, that they know every single year they're going to make money. So therefore, they don't have to go get a job, or they can make a really good income and have the confidence to put more money on per trade, and therefore their trading goes up. And so that was, even though I learnt that from them, it took me a long time, right? Because initially I was trading all these different things. I was trading stochastics and RSIs and Bollinger Bands and triangle breakouts and then trend analysis and then this and that. And there was nothing to my system there, right? But after a while of me just going back to work, saving a bit of money, putting in a trading account, blowing that up, going back to work, saving money, putting in the trading account, blowing that up, and just like so many times. And there came a point where I'm like, John, you need to get serious now, like serious, man. Like, you've been doing this for so long, and like, what's going on here? Now, again, guys, this is what I was thinking when I first started 20 years ago. Many years into the journey, and this is what I was thinking, right? $250,000 in debt. And then I'm going back to work and I'm working as a landscape gardener or just doing whatever I could. There was many times there where I had a big falling out with my father-in-law, so therefore I was just doing things like laboring and pick packing and then traffic controller and just, you know, working on freeways for like just plants and stuff like that. It's just all laboring jobs. And so therefore it was tough, right? Because I really, really, really wanted to trade really well. And I started to come across through trial and error and through my mentors, a lot of there's areas that really came down to my success as a trader. And once I started to do that, I didn't initially become successful straight away, but I started to slowly see a bit of momentum. And one of those things was, every day when I woke up, if I can have the discipline to say no to everything but these patterns that I truly am confident in, then I know they're going to work, you know, which means they're probably going to work probably 70, 80% of the time, you know, and even my case, like 90% of the time. That if I can just wait for these types of setups to come around and not just trade any ordinary thing because I want to make money, I'm probably going to make money. But if I get to the market every day and I'm not just focusing on these patterns, but I'm just trying to make some money today. So I'm trying to take any or anything. That never seemed to work out well for me. I always was making emotional decisions, bad decisions, and I always lost money doing that. And sooner or later, I realized it was my lack of discipline. That if I actually wanted to get, and this is years and years and years and years of just being smacked around by these markets. And it was really my doing, right? It was really smacked around by my doing, by me doing what I'm doing. And so after a period of time there, guys, like I started to realize that if I actually want to become part of this world, the reason why these traders are successful is because the foundation is that they're disciplined across their approach. And both my mentors, I heard them say so many times something along the lines of, they will wait and wait and wait and wait and wait as long as they have to until they get the right signal, right? And then when they know that, and then when they do, if they can do that as a foundation, here's my setup and I'm happy taking this. And I'm happy to wait a whole month without no trades to take this setup, because if I do that through the entire year, I'm going to make money this year. And one of the hardest things for me is that I'm just like, well, I'm looking to take a lot of trades so I can make a lot of money. And that was the wrong thinking, right? Because you know yourself, like if you try to take a lot of trades, that's a lot of emotional stress, a lot of emotional decisions, bad decisions, getting in at the wrong time, getting out at the wrong time. And that never, ever seemed to work, right? What I like to focus on now is not taking a lot of trades, but trying to jump in markets that I can be in for a couple of months or more that have the potential of making a really big move. So I can jump in and even on a low scale, you know, like a $20,000 position in the markets, and before you know it, you're generating 300-400% return over the course of a couple of months. You see what I'm saying there, guys, right? Like that's, you know, that's sort of thing that started to go from there. And so then I started to realize that, again, I've been trading the markets for 20 years, guys. So what I'm talking about right now is the journey over these 20 years of just trying to figure out this game called trading. And then I had to start to become real myself. Like if I want to become good at this thing called trading, then I've got to start to I've got to stop kidding myself and start to get serious with myself and start to become a lot more disciplined with this approach. And when I started to do that, guys, everything started to, when I started to do a lot more of a discipline, meaning every day my focus was, it's okay not to take a trade today. It's okay not taking a trade for a week. Because I know I experienced so many times, there was two levels here. Level number one, in this hand, I'm going to go to the market and take any ordinary thing that I think is a good trade. That there, gone. Blow up my trading account. But when I go back through my trades, if I just stuck to these types of patterns, I may have had 70% less trades, but I made money. And that's when everything started to kick over for me. And that's when everything started to work for me. But it was hard, right? But like first few years and losing all this money and saving money and blowing a trading account up and then getting married and then having my father-in-law saying, why don't you go get a real job like everyone else does? Maybe this trading, gambling thing is not for you. And then I had my first son coming along the way as well too. I've got 3 kids myself now. And it was hard. Now, it was hard because of really my own thinking, right? I had to get out of my own way. My own thinking was, I was focusing on making money, so therefore I was looking to take any ordinary thing that I thought was going to make me money. But that's not professional trading, right? Professional trading is we wait for these patterns to set up and then we do well from there. And it took me a while because even though I knew that in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, and like because I wanted to make money now. Right? I want to make money now. And because I was in that mentality, I want to make money now. Guess what ended up happening? I made no money now. I lost money now. But whenever I sat back, said, okay, I want to make money now, but the only way for me to do that is if I just stick to these patterns. I have to stick to these patterns. Because if I want to make money every single year for the rest of my life, I've got to have something as a foundation that I can rely on. And fast forward to where I am today, to today, guys, that's where I'm at, right? It's all coming down to the patterns that I trade. And then having the emotional management of looking at these markets to know when to get out for small profits. Like I did like this week, I've got out of 2 trades that just weren't really working for me. So therefore I got out of 2 trades. One was a 20% profit, one was a 12% profit. That's not when to get out, right? And I'm also in another trade right now, and it's more of a longer term trade. I'm probably going to be in this trade for another 2 or 3 or 4 months, and it's potentially going to have a multiple 100% return profit for me over the next couple of months. But it's the type of trade, right? It's the type of trade. So if you're going through this process right now and you want to become a good trader of these markets, a lot of the time it's your thinking, right? It's your thinking. And the biggest things that I had to overcome was the job mentality, right? If I go to work this week as a laborer, I'm going to make $1,000. So therefore I need to make $1,000 this week to quit my job. And therefore what I try to do is I tried to make $1,000. See what I'm doing here? I'm getting into the market because I'm trying to make $1,000. I'm getting into the market because this is a pattern that I trade every single day. And so therefore, every time I just trade because I wanted to make money and it wasn't because of some sort of pattern, it just looked like something. Just looked like something I could make. I always went backwards from there. And I remember one year, guys, like this is probably a really big sticking point for me. Actually, two big sticking points, two big turning points for me was one. It was New Year's Eve with my now ex-wife, and I just wanted it so bad. I'm just like, I want this so bad. I really, really, really want this. Now, again, guys, this is going back now probably 15 years ago or something like that, right? And again, I still had no idea what I was doing, right? And this is where like having a coach, guys, having a coach, and like with me, with my coaching program, you know, if you go to getjohnshelp.com or that first link in the description there, you can apply for my coaching. But having someone there, and that's probably one of the best things I've done, especially in the last 10 years. My first 10 years, I'm like, my last 10 years has been one of the best things out there is having someone who's done it for 30 years and make, you know, on a low scale, on a low end, he would make $2 million a year on a low end. On a high end, a lot more. And seeing someone who makes that kind of money, who's been a trader for 30 years, makes millions of dollars every single year, he really, really, when I started to really watch what he did and how he traded and how he thought about his trading, that's when everything changed, right? And that's the reason why with me, I have my live room every single day to show you what I'm doing, but also to coach you these things as well too. And so again, that's that first thing in the description. I'm plugging my coaching program, guys, because you know it's important to be around a group like this. That you're part of a small group every single day where you continue getting this sort of knowledge, right? So you can really start to slow down and take good setups, know when to get out for small losses, small profits, know when to hold on to the trades, and then having that emotional management and all that sort of stuff, right? It's hard, it's difficult, but I'm so grateful that I invested a lot of money. It's well over. It's for the last 10 years, guys. I've invested well over six figures into my mentors, my two main mentors, and I'm so grateful that I do that because that 6 figures in coaching has made me well over $1 million, right? Well over $1 million. It's because they really showed me the path. Really, really, really showed me the path. But they showed me the path, but it took me time for them. It took me time to fully understand that. Because they tell me one thing, like, John, here's a pattern, stick to it. Most of the time it's going to generate a profit. And this is how you manage the trade. Okay, cool. And then I go to the market very next day and I do some dumbass shit. Something within a bullshit indicator or something like that. So I want to share this with you guys because I really feel for you, a lot of you guys, like you really want to do really well from trading, right? I know you want to do so well from trading. And the foundations is that there's a lot of things you have to overcome, right? A lot of, initially it was my own thoughts, like I make $1,000 for my job, so I'm trying to make $1,000 per week. That's not how trading works, right? You might make $20,000 this month, and for the next couple of months, it's pretty flat. That's how trading really is. But if you can have that mentality, you might make 50 grand at your job, but if you have that in the mind, every year you could do 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, even 7 figures, because you're okay with the understandings of some months you're going to make a lot of money and other months are going to be pretty flat. In fact, if you look at my equity curve, my actual equity curve looks like that, right? It has a big jump and then it has a bit of a pullback into it. It has a big jump and then it has a flat period for a few months. And then now what's happening as I speak right now, it's had a massive jump to all-time new highs, right? So my equity curve has been stepping up, but it's been I've had an incredible year, and I'm gonna finish off an incredible year because I know how to trade the market successfully now. When it comes to trade selection, trade management, emotional management, all that sort of stuff, right? But the thing is that if you look at it, there's many times when my equity curve was either having a slight pullback because I had some few losses, or either there was a sideways period for a month or two where I was having not really big wins, right? And then it starts to grow from there. So hope this helped you out there today, traders. I wanted to share with you a bit more about, one, what's coming right now, and two, why I do what I do. And if you guys are long-term investors, I have been now going down that path of understanding big macro cycles for the last couple of years. But most of my time, guys, right now to this day is learning how to identify the patterns. And it's actually quite simple for me. That's the reason why I only can trade. That's the reason why I trade only half an hour per day now. Because once you know once you're laser focused in what you're doing, my job is every day I'm going to show up and I'm going to look for this one or two types of setups, and I'm going to go through my scans, and if there's nothing today, get off the computer and go to something else, right? And then come back the next day. Go through the scans, go through the markets, half an hour a day, maybe an hour per day, and then you go from there. So anyway, traders, hope this helps you out, and this is a bit more about me and why I do what I do, and I'll speak to you guys real soon.